Hello, teacher. I am Huang Wing. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd of February 2022. This is the exercise WH questions. What do you and whose plus noun you say to you? What do you prepare? Homework. Whose homework do you prepare? Mine. What do you need? A bike. Whose bike do you need? My brother's. What do you enjoy? The party. Whose party do you enjoy? My customers. What do you make? Cakes. Whose cakes do you make? My friends. What do you learn? Soft skills course. Whose soft skills course do you learn? My professors. What do you fold? The letter. Whose letter do you fold? Mine. What do you break? A vase. Whose vase do you break? My mom's. What do you catch? A cat. Whose cat do you catch? My neighbor's. What do you repair? My computer. Whose computer do you repair? My daughter's. What do you find? A notebook. Whose notebook do you find? The architect's. What do you prepare? The picnic. Whose picnic do you prepare? My parents. What do you need? Cash. Whose cash do you need? My father's. What do you enjoy? Hunks. Whose hunks do you enjoy? My nieces. What do you make? Pasta. Whose pasta do you make? My aunts. What do you learn? Communication skills. Whose communication skills do you learn? My bosses. What do you fold? A jacket. Whose jacket do you fold? My father's. What do you break? A dish. Whose dish do you break? My friend's. What do you catch? Butterflies. Whose butterflies do you catch? My children's. What do you repair? A toy. Whose toy do you repair? My son's. What do you find? A wallet. Whose wallet do you find? The businessman's. What do you prepare? The meeting. Whose meeting do you prepare? My colleagues. What do you need? The backpack. Whose backpack do you need? My sisters. What do you enjoy? A hamburger. Whose hamburger do you enjoy? The clerks. What do you make? Chocolate. Whose chocolate do you make? My uncle's. What do you learn? Project management course. Whose project management project management course do you learn? My courses. What do you fold? A dress. Whose dress do you fold? My sister's. What do you break? The window. Whose window do you break? My neighbor's. What do you catch? A ball. Whose ball do you catch? The baby's. What do you repair? A phone. Whose phone do you repair? My father's. What do you find? A novel. Whose novel do you find? My sister's. What do you prepare? A speech. Whose speech do you prepare? My boss's. What do you need? A guitar. Whose guitar do you need? My band's. What do you enjoy? Seafood. Whose seafood do you enjoy? The chef's. What do you make? Bread. Whose bread do you make? My neighbor's. What do you learn? English. Whose English do you learn? My teacher's. What do you fold? A suit. Whose suit do you fold? My mother's. What do you break? The laptop. Whose laptop do you break? My classmates. What do you catch? A rabbit. whose rabbit do you catch? My daughters. What do you repair? A lamp. Whose lamp do you repair? My grandpa's. What do you find? Keys. Whose keys do you find? The driver's. What do you prepare? A dinner. Whose dinner do you prepare? My cousin's. What do you need? Money. Whose money do you need? My manager's. What do you enjoy? A cup of tea. Whose cup of tea do you enjoy? Mine. What do you make? A pizza. Whose pizza do you make? My father's. What do you learn? Networking course. Whose networking course do you learn? My colleagues. What do you fold? A t-shirt. Whose t-shirt do you fold? My husband. What do you break? The sunglasses. Whose sunglasses do you break? My dad's. What do you catch? An ostrich. Whose ostrich do you catch? A farmer's. What do you repair? A bridge. Whose bridge do you repair? My uncle's. What do you find? A watch. Whose watch do you find? The tour guide's. What do you prepare? A meal. Whose meal do you prepare? My dog's. What do you need? A shirt. Whose shirt do you need? My mother's. What do you enjoy? Some biscuits. Whose biscuits do you enjoy? My pen pals. What do you make? Spaghetti. Whose spaghetti do you make? My sisters. What do you learn? Time management course. Whose time management course do you learn? Mr. David's. What do you fold? A newspaper. Whose newspaper do you fold? My grandfather's. What do you break? A mirror. Whose mirror do you break? My sister's. What do you catch? A fish. Whose fish do you catch? My mom's. What do you repair? A car. Whose car do you repair? The policeman's. What do you find? The sharks. Whose shark do you find? My grandfather's. What do you prepare? A dessert. Whose dessert do you prepare? My family's. What do you need? Time. Whose time do you need? My boyfriend's. What do you enjoy? Pancakes. Whose pancakes do you enjoy? My aunt's. What do you make? Breakfast. Whose breakfast do you make? My family's. What do you learn? Teamwork course. Whose teamwork course do you learn? My team's. What do you fold? The curtain. Whose curtain do you fold? My son's. What do you break? A picture frame. Whose picture frame do you break? My nephew's. What do you catch? A bird. Whose bird do you catch? My brother's. What do you repair? A table. Whose table do you repair? My mother's. What do you find? A pen. Whose pen do you find? Hers. What do you prepare? The report. Whose report do you prepare? My director's. What do you need? A house. Whose house do you need? My husband's. What do you enjoy? Beef noodles. Whose beef noodles do you enjoy? My grandmother's. What do you make? A payment. Whose payment do you make? Mine. What do you learn? Creative thinking course. Whose creative thinking course do you learn? My trainers. What do you fold? The blanket. Whose blanket do you fold? My daughter's. What do you break? A cup. A cup. Whose cup do you break? My boss's. What do you repair? An oven. Whose oven do you repair? My aunt's. What do you find? A passport. Whose passport do you find? His passport. What do you prepare? The project. Whose project do you prepare? My marketing teams. What do you need? Documents. Whose documents do you need? My teachers. What do you enjoy? A kiss. Whose kiss do you enjoy? My younger sisters. What do you make? Gift baskets. Whose gift baskets do you make? My partners. What do you learn? Conflict resolution course. Whose conflict resolution course do you learn? Miss Sarah's. What do you fold? Tablecloths. Whose tablecloths do you fold? My friends. What do you break? A promise. Whose promise do you break? Mine. What do you catch? A turtle. Whose turtle do you catch? My boyfriend's. What do you repair? A clock. Whose clock do you repair? Mine. What do you find? The bicycle. Whose bicycle do you find? The doctor's. What do you prepare? An exam. Whose exam do you prepare? My students. What do you need? Forks. Whose forks do you need? My roommates. What do you enjoy? An embrace. Whose embrace do you enjoy? My families. What do you make? Videos. Whose videos do you make? My best friends. What do you learn? Transfer pricing course. Whose transfer pricing course do you learn? An accountant. What do you fold? A poker hand. Whose poker hand do you fold? My grandmother's. What do you break? A bowl. Whose bowl do you break? The waiter's. What do you catch? A break. Whose break do you catch? Mine. What do you repair? The headphones. Whose headphones do you repair? My nephew's. What do you find? A lipstick. Whose lipstick do you find? The nurse's.